The title of this episode is Shake to Activate. Now, I know you guys have heard this Bible story quite often, both Bible stories quite often by different Christians on YouTube and podcasts, and it's about marriage. And marriage is a trending topic, but I wanted to share something very different from what all the other YouTubers were sharing about marriage. And it's about, sis, you're gonna have to shake the man of God. You're gonna have to activate the man of God in that person. Only you can activate the man in him. Only you can activate the man of God in him. And this is by speaking to him, whatever word God give to you to give to him. Whatever thing you need to address and come up with, and approach and discuss with him about looking after him spiritually, because at this point there's nothing else we can do but look after him spiritually, but pray for him as God give us the wisdom and the things to pray for him about. Let me remind you that if you know who your spouse is and that person know who you are, this is a non-traditional union. This is a non-traditional union, and the only person who know this man very well is God. So when it's non-traditional, you're gonna have to go before God and go before God and ask him what is next, because God is gonna show you everything you need to know and do in order to activate the man of God, to activate the man in your spouse, your kingdom spouse. Okay, so in Genesis 2:21, starting 21, it says, "So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs, and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man." So God may not specifically take your hand and take you to your spouse, but if you ask God who is your husband, God spoke to you and he told you and he showed you, and then after that, God began to start giving you instructions on what to do, where to go, and how to go about this thing. Sometimes it's going to be like, for an example, get his attention. He's not going to tell you how to get his attention. He's going to speak to you and say, get his attention. So that means you got to do whatever you know, the knowledge you know, to get this man's attention. This is God's way of activating the man in him. Okay? So, sis, what I'm trying to say is, during this waiting process, during this shake to activate season, moment, period, you can't take it personal. His behavior, his reactions, his actions, his perspective, you can't take it personal. But you can show him how to, you can teach him how to get to know you, right? Doing this process, you can teach him how to get to know you. And however you do that, that's the way it's done. But his behavior, his actions, his perspective, you can't not take it personal. Don't put your heart in it like it's already, like the love is already there. You are shaking and activating this man, and you are awakening love at this time. It's not there. He don't see you. He don't see you as his wife. You have to show him as God give you instructions and clarification and understanding about this man. Okay. So he had taken out of the man and he brought her to the man. Okay. At this point, you went to a event where this man would be. Okay. And the at this time, he, of course, when you finally meet or go into this event, he lay his eyes on you. You already know he was going to be there. And a lot of times people always say the man have to pursue. Yes, he do. Okay. So before Adam, when God brought her to the man, she was already a bride. Shout out to Jerry Flowers. He explained this better than anybody I've heard. But when you become a woman of God, walking in your godly purpose, helping the church or the people of God, which is the body of Christ, which is the church, you are a woman of God. You are a bride of Christ. So when you go before this man of God, he have to see you as the bride. He have seen so many different types of people, situationships, and this and that, whatever he experienced in the field working. So when you present yourself, he is looking now. You got his attention. When you present yourself, you have his attention. So before it gets to the point where it says, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, she shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. So like when it says, and he brought her to the man, but like maybe you're thinking like, did they have intimacy with each other right there? No. But before it got to verse 23, something was happening. Something had happened. There wasn't an encounter. It had to be an encounter. You know, unless Adam just magically knew off top. But when we go into the story of Ruth and Boaz didn't automatically see Ruth as a bride. He didn't automatically see her as a wife. Someone to keep the law of God going. He didn't automatically see that. So the presenting yourself to this man and following the instructions, doing what God told you to do, everything. You're basically being obedient. You basically being loyal to your ministry, to God. So he's going to start seeing all of this. He's gonna start looking at all of those qualities, and that's the same thing Boaz did to Ruth. He started to notice, and not only notice her behavior, her character. It also, people vouched for her. There was people who spoke of her and vouched that character, like she's consistent. That's who she is. So you're in this position where you see him, you know it's him, and God confirmed it numerous of times. because the situation was so uncomfortable, so non-traditional, something you're not used to. Nobody was there to help you understand this. You didn't have a roof. I'm sorry, you didn't have a Naomi. You didn't have a Naomi to coach you. You're on your own at this point. But if you do have a Naomi to coach you, that's a blessing. But for the woman of God who do not have a Naomi to coach you, this episode is for you. And if anybody else wants to tune in and just take notes, you can do this as well. But you are all by yourself, and it's you and God, and the people who have seen you in the field, who have watched you, who have paid attention to you, who have known you, know your name, know about you. You have worked with them. You have been around them for quite some time. They know you as well. So you have witnesses as well. But and let me prolong. So now, before I can get to this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, she shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man. In verse 24 says, that is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh. So you need to activate the man of God in his man so that he can cleave to you as his wife. And it's going to take some work because this is non-traditional. Okay? You wasn't around each other. But you wasn't quite around each other, like laughing and giggling and really getting to know each other personally. But you guys share the same background, history, present and the future. And this is God's way of he's making sure everything is compatible with each other. So now what is going on before he notices you as his wife, before he notices you as his bride? You already understand the assignment. If you don't have a Naomi, you already understand the assignment. You already know how to get a man's attention. You already know. You already know. You already understand the assignment. So what do Naomi tell Ruth? She said, one day Ruth's mother-in-law Naomi said to her, my daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be well provided for. Now Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed up. Get dressed in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor, but don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. But if you don't have a Naomi, you already know how to look nice. You already know how to put your clothes on. You already know how to get men's attention based off your experience. Some women need to be told, okay, you need to put your best clothes on. You need to look nice. Go do your hair. Go put on a little blush, a little lip gloss or lipstick. Put on some nice clothes. Smell good, look good, and be good, okay? Be your best. You got to stand out. You have to stand out to get this man of God attention. Okay? And ain't nothing shame in your game because you are a woman of God. God, you are already been molded and trained and disciplined to present yourself. You already know. If you don't, you have a Naomi to help you to understand and what to do. And that, that's nothing wrong with that. But that is what's happening when you are presenting yourself to the man before he can get to say you his bride, you his wife. And it's going to be more than just putting some nice clothes on and looking good and smelling good. You're going to have to actually speak to this man Some way, somehow, you gotta have to find some way to speak to him, to talk to him, and so he can hear your voice, and see how God is using you to give him peace, to give him guidance. He needs to see how God is going to use you to help him. Okay? So I know a lot of times people talk about Ruth worked in the fields and she was loyal to loyal to her mother-in-law, Naomi. Yes, but what people don't mention about Ruth is that the quality, the things, and Boaz also noticed. Yes, he noticed that she was loyal. Yes, there was people who vouched for her as well, who knew her. But what Boaz actually noticed that people don't really talk about is how kind she was. And sis, I'm tell you, shaking to activate this man of God, your flesh is gonna get bothered. You're gonna get tired. And what I'm saying is you're gonna have to stay kind and patient with him. You're going to have to stay kind and patient with him. And if you run out of patience, you're going to have to ask God to give it to you. You're going to have to ask God to help you stay kind. You're going to have to pray and ask him to help you. Because you don't want to lose your blessing. Because you frustrated and irritated, upset. Because at the same time, I'm giving you a heads up, try not to put your feelings in it. Look at it as if you go out to an event, you meet people, you see this guy, he's attractive, he's cute, you think he's, you like what you see, you interested, and then he sees you, y'all mingle, it's just cordial, and you laugh a little bit, he getting to know you, you talk a little bit, he see how you think, he see how your mind is, after talking to you a little bit, from hearing that conversating, as you mingle around the room to everybody laugh, he see how you interact with everybody else. And then he begins to like you. He begins to like you. Think of it as something like that. This will help. If you don't have a Naomi to help you, think of it something like that. Okay? Don't get too caught up in your feelings because it's not going your way. It's not going your way. So as you continue to present yourself to this man and follow the instructions of God and staying focused and staying anchored in the Lord, because you're going to need God strength, okay? So now, he's liking you. There are still other people around him, but he's liking you. You got his attention. And so now, over time, he's seeing how consistent you are with your character. You are kind. Or she is kind. She is loyal. She do work in the field. She do have a ministry. She is helping God's people. Right? So now, when it gets to the point where he now sees you as his wife, as his bride, now it's time now you're about to go to the next stage, which is marriage now. So boys go. So Naomi say, but don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do. I will do whatever you say, Ruth answered. So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth approached quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled the man. He turned, and there was a woman lying at his feet. Who are you? He asked. I am your servant, Ruth, she said. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family. Now a lot of times people thought that they had sex. No, they didn't have sex. And the same thing with Adam. They didn't have sex. Um, it was this saying is a ancient idiom. That I am your servant Ruth. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family. That's an ancient idiom. It was also used in Ezekiel 16 and 8 when God was talking about Jerusalem. Later I passed by, and when I looked at you and saw that you were old enough for love, I spread the corner of my garment over you and covered your naked body. Okay, so this ancient idiom is saying it's like a request for marriage, a pledge of protection and provision, a symbol of covenant and intimacy, a request for redemption in divine covenant in righteousness. That's what that ancient idiom is meaning. It's meaning. Okay, so Boaz. So after she said that, and Boaz said, "The Lord bless you, my daughter." He replied, "And this kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier." He kept seeing her kindness. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Although it is true that I am a guardian redeemer of family, there is another who is more closely related than I. See how dedicated he is to the Hebrew laws? Like, that is impressive. Okay? He say, stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to do his duty as your guardian redeemer, good, let him redeem you. But if he is not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it. Wow. Lie here until morning. So she lay at his feet until morning, but got up before anyone could be recognized. And he said, no one must know that a woman came to the threshing floor. He also said, bring me the shawl you are wearing and hold it out. When she did so, he poured into it 6 measures of barley and placed the bundle on her. Then he went back to town. When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, how did it go, my daughter? Then she told her everything Boaz had done for her and added, he gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying, don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. Then Naomi said, wait, my daughter, until you find out what happens. For the man will not rest until the matter is settled today. Okay? So he was so dedicated with obeying the Hebrew laws that he went to the person that was the first to redeem her. And so he didn't settle. He made sure he handled that until it was done. So he go, meanwhile, Boaz went up to the town gate and sat down there just as the guardian redeemer he had mentioned came along. Boaz said, come over here, my friend, and sit down. So he went over and sat down. Boaz took 10 of the elders of the town and said, sit here. And they did. And they did so. Then he said to the guardian redeemer, Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling the piece of land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. I thought I should bring the matter to your attention and suggest that you buy it in the presence of these seated here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, do so. But if you will not, tell me so I will know. For no one has the right to do it except you, and I am next in line. I will redeem it, he said. Then Boaz said, on the day you buy the land from Naomi, you also acquire Ruth the Moabite, the dead man's widow, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property. At this, the guardian redeemer said, then I cannot redeem it because I might endanger my own estate. You redeem it yourself. I cannot do it. So Boaz stepped in and took it, which was meant to happen anyways. But so now, ladies, if you're supposed to be married and it seems like there's a delay, during the time you presenting yourself to this man of God and God is giving you instructions on what to do, also deliverance have to take place. There may delayed but not denied. So if you are delayed, that's because deliverance have to take place. I don't know what it is exactly that you need to be delivered from, but only God can help you with that as you continue to go before him. And if you have a Naomi, if you have a Naomi to help coach you, but she don't understand why there's a delay, you, woman of God, may have to go to God to see what it is that you need to be delivered from, what it is this man of God need to be delivered from. Only God knows. But one thing I do want to share with you that most people will not pay attention to is the transferring of shoes. And in the earlier times of Israel, for the redemption and transfer of property to become final, one party took off his sandal and gave it to the other. This was the method of legalizing transaction in Israel. Now, if you are familiar with the adversary, he come to steal, kill, and destroy, and he do not play fair. So, ladies, if you in your time in your life have given another female your shoes, we don't always know their intentions with taking our shoes. Some of the intentions isn't good. Them taking your shoes was intentional, spiritually intentional, and they stole your blessing, your marriage blessing. And if God put a desire of marriage in your heart when you was a little girl, say about 5 years old, marriage was for you. But other people comes along and they like to steal our blessings that God already had spiritually stored up for us to be manifested on earth. But they came along and stole our blessings. And because we are ignorant and wasn't aware and trying to be kind and nice, be empathy, be helpful, we fall into these snares and these traps that the enemy has set for us. But glory be to God, we stay with God. We stay serving him. We stay obedient to him. And he began to reveal and intervene on our behalf. That's how good he is. So I'm telling you, if God is revealing to you, if God is going to reveal to you, women that you have given your shoes to wear, whether they took it to keep or you gave them to borrow and they gave it back to you, you're going to have to pray and ask God to redeem you for that, because you was not aware and it was stolen. It was stolen. You did not intentionally transfer your marriage blessing to somebody else by giving them your shoes. You did not know. You did not know until now. And God will do that as well. And believe it or not, whether you still know, you know how you was friends with these people, with these women, and then you get older, you go apart, but you still hear of their life and what's happening to them through other people who know them. They didn't get married. It wasn't the right way, but they got married because of your blessing, because they stole your blessing by wearing your shoes. You gave them your shoes to wear. So this is a reason to be careful who you let wear your shoes. If I was you, I would just not let people wear my shoes at all, ever again. Sorry, nothing personal. I just gotta protect my spiritual blessings. And then their marriage that what they was not supposed to have. I don't want to get into deep, but one particular person took somebody else's husband to try to make him her husband, and dated this man for a long time, like over a decade or so, to marry this man and to finally get him to marry her. And the wife, I believe it or not, I heard that the wife that he was married to had passed away. Now he was available to marry her, but she would not let this man go. And then now she's married. But I don't know how it's going to turn out when God redeem me for my blessings, redeem you for your blessings. So I just want to throw that in there because no one recognizes that, no one notices that. So pay attention to that and go before God and do what you need to do, sis. Okay. So that is all I want to share with you for this episode. And I hope you was blessed by it. And then I will get back to you until next time. Thank you for tuning in.